What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into Superman and Robin, our one-shot special. We are seeing the return of our Supersons. Now, each of them currently have their own respective lines. And if you haven't been keeping up with Superman, son of Kal-El, if you have not been keeping up with Robin, go ahead, check out the links in my description as well at the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with those two runs. And with this one-shot special, it is taking us right before the Robin line starts, right before he goes to the island of Lazarus, and right after Superman had finally left. With him being off-world on War-World, our Supersons, they're gonna have a little bit of fun. Now, be sure to buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this one-shot special, we are picking up at the Fortress of Solitude. And Kal-El is determining that there is some kind of anomaly inside of the fortress. And so with him telling all of the cryptobots to start initiating their programs, start scanning everything in the facility, because it appears that something is off, something is wrong. And it appears that all of the issues are coming from this tiny temporal cube. And so inside the Fortress of Solitude, everything is going sideways. Meanwhile, we are picking up with Jonathan and his mother, with him sitting down in the evening time, eating a bowl of cereal and watching cartoons. We see Lois attempt to change the channel to something that's more current, showing current events with the media outlets and so on and so forth. We're just seeing how hard it is for both of them dealing with this new era that they live in, because it wasn't that long ago that Jonathan, he was 10 years old. One of the reasons that this is so hard for Jon is because he wants to be a kid still. Much of his childhood was just really ripped away from him. And so because of this, he hasn't had the opportunity to just be a kid. And sometimes it's hard for Lois as well, because she likes to try to block out that the fact her son was gone for so long, that they missed out on so much of his childhood. It's just really taking a lot of getting used to for everybody involved. And even though it's been quite a while, it's still really taking people time to adjust to this. But with her turning the cartoons back on and letting him just zone out for a little bit, she has to head out. And with her heading out, as soon as she walks out the door, we see the arrival of Damian, aka Robin, completely catching him off guard. Jonathan asking, when are you going to stop sneaking up on me like that? And of course, Damian's response is, never. Like, I'm never gonna stop doing that. I'm going to do this for the rest of our lives. You're just gonna have to get used to it. Get over it. But the reason that he is here is he is letting him know that Papa Superman, his alarms are going off in the Fortress of Solitude. And Damian, he is even surprised that Superboy hasn't caught on to this yet. With Jonathan going to his room and checking the crystal to see if it's red and glowing. Pulling it out of a drawer, it is in fact glowing. With him having no idea that it was activated, he looks over to Damian and he asks the question, how the heck did you know that the alarm was going off in the Fortress of Solitude? Saying that he has his ways, Jonathan knows that he planted a surveillance bug the last time they were in there. That is the only way that he would be able to know what is going on in there. Of course, Damian, he tries to brush it off as, I was just testing you. I was waiting to see if you would notice my surveillance bug. And of course, Jonathan, he's like, that's gotta be your word for spying, right? Because testing me is not what I would call this. And with Damian continuing to defend himself, saying that somebody, if not him, is going to keep an eye on everything, all the craziness that is inside the Fortress of Solitude. But with him suiting up, they go up to the roof, and this is where we see the Hellbat suit. Because Damian, he had just decided he was going to take it out for a joyride. And he lets Jonathan know, this is how I got here. This is how I was able to fly here, and this is how I'm going to be able to get to the Fortress of Solitude. Because you're not carrying me, and I am not riding on your back. Now at this point, Jonathan's like, listen, like, I don't even remember inviting you to the Fortress of Solitude, let alone bringing the Hellbat suit. And of course, Damian, he tells him, I don't remember asking for an invitation. And so with that, we see Superman, he takes to the sky, and now it is a race to see who can get to the fortress first. And as they are making their way through the skies, they decide to have, a little one-on-one conversation. They haven't had the opportunity to really catch up and talk to one another in quite some time. And this is when Damian, he starts breaking down what is going on. He starts talking about the League of Lazarus tournament, the tournament that he is currently in, and it's actually the next issue that we're going to be covering. Now, of course, he hasn't started this tournament yet, but he has every intention of joining and figuring out what this is all about. And of course, Damian, he hasn't talked to Bruce about it, and that is because they're not really on talking terms. And though neither of them will actually admit it to their fathers, both of them are missing having their guidance, having their voices, being able to talk to them whenever they want to. But as they arrive in the Arctic, we are picking up at the Fortress of Solitude, and this place is an absolute disaster, with something appearing to kill every single one of the robots in the facility and completely junk this place. They're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, and they know it has to be something from the inside. There was nothing that was able to get inside the Fortress of Solitude from the main entrance, and so they know something has to be stuck inside of here. And this is when Superman, he finds the temporal cube. And Jonathan, he has a history with the temporal cube. At one point in time, he had attempted to use it to try to show off to his science teacher and demonstrate time travel. And so going to his father's fortress, he grabbed this cube. But in grabbing this cube, it had transported him, his dad, to some kind of island. A strange island with dinosaurs and Nazis, having World War II soldiers fight alongside dinosaurs. That is where they found Captain Storm. Now, Captain Storm, he had given his life so that Superman and Superboy were able to escape this place. And they made a promise to go back and rescue him a couple months later. That's exactly what they had done. And so what they are surmising is that something came through the cube. Something came through and it wreaked havoc. Of course, while they're in here, Damian is going to do a little bit of sightseeing. And that's when he sees the bottled city of Kandor. And as soon as Jonathan tells him that it is in fact real, there are real little people down there, that is a real city, Damian goes over and he chants at them, Damian, the sun god rises. But with them putting the city back where it belongs, this is when they see a creature. This creature was the troublemaker that has been causing them all of these issues this entire time. And Robin, his first instinct is to pull out his tranq gun and try to take this beast down. But that is where we see Jonathan, he stops the tranq dart, saying that we don't need to break into this kind of hostility just yet. That this creature, it looks scared, it looks concerned, and it looks worried. With him making Damian promise that there will be no more shooting at this beast, they go looking for it. And with them going looking for it, it jumps on top of Damian's head, and we see Damian running around like a chicken with its head cut off, screaming, begging for Jonathan to get this thing off of his head. As Jonathan tries to pull it off, this thing is not letting go of Damian. But with it finally letting go, breaking through, and running off into the distance, they go chasing after it, only to run into the alien farm that has been inside of this place. Because Superman, for a long time, he had gathered up animals that were close to extinction from all over the universe, and he gives them an opportunity to repopulate and eventually release them back into the wild. But with some of this alien farm being broken open, they are quickly realizing they actually have to put this thing down, because not only is it breaking people out or breaking animals out, it is also growing in size. And so with Damian taking out his tranq dart, he goes to shoot this thing. Shooting it multiple times, it does not go down. with Jonathan doing the best he can to try to wrestle this thing down to the ground. It flips him off like he is a sack of potatoes. And Jonathan quickly realizes that he needs to use a little bit more force. That if he keeps going easy on this thing, it is just going to completely overrun them. And so with him giving it an awesome punch to the back, it falls to the ground. Damian getting the opportunity to shoot it with as many tranq darts as he has in his gun. This monster finally falls to the ground. Not only that, as Jonathan begins to lift this thing up, as it was growing, it became pregnant because it is an asexual being, which means it reproduces without having a mate. But this sleeping pregnant giant is not their concern right now. What their concern is what is coming through that temporal cube. Because what is coming through the cube is a whole brigade of freaking Nazis. And as the Nazis start coming into the fortress, they start burning and destroying everything that is in their sight. With our Super Sons not going to allow the Nazis to continue their reign of destruction, we see the two boys, they suit up, with Damian jumping into the Hellbat, and Jonathan, he starts jumping into the Superman suit. Completely unnecessary for Jonathan to do, but why the heck not? Let's go full freaking Decepticon on these Nazis. And they start just laying down some hate on these guys, beating the living crap out of every single one of these Nazis and shooting them directly back into the cube. With the Nazis handled and taken care of, they look behind them to see the monster they were chasing down. It is now awake and it has given birth. Now at this point, Superboy, he is doing everything he can to remain calm, trying to let this monster know that they just want to lead it back home, to bring it back to where it belongs. And so going up to it and grabbing its hand, they walk it back into the portal with its baby, with the baby waving and Damian waving goodbye, with all of the craziness finally coming to an end. Jonathan tells him to say it. Just say it. Say that you enjoyed spending time together again. And we have Damian admitting, sure, fine. Yeah, I enjoyed spending time. I enjoyed being the Super Sons again. It was really nice to see you, especially with everything that has been going on in both of our lives. And with them both saying that they missed one another, Jonathan reminding him that he is only one call away, that they will always and forever, no matter what, be the Super Sons. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think everybody enjoys a good Super Son story. Jonathan and Damian are arguably the best team up that DC has ever created. They are the dynamic duo. They are the gruesome twosome. There is no better team out in existence than Damian and Jonathan. And so with us finally getting to see them back together, seeing them operating back as one again, and though this may be temporary, I am highly looking forward to the future and what is next for our Super Sons. And I think my favorite part about this is the fact that they had to bring in the Hellbat. And then when the Nazis show up, they jump in, not like they can't beat up Nazis. Like both Damian and Jonathan without the suits could easily have taken on these Nazis. But they were like, you know what, why not? We have our suits here, why not hop in them and we'll just beat some Nazi faces in. It is very rare that they make a bad Super Son story, and this one is definitely not bad. This one is thoroughly enjoyable, it's tons of fun, and it doesn't take away from the continuity that is currently going on in each of their individual lines. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.